Hello, welcome back. We are solidly into April now, which is exciting because now we can look back on how we did first quarter as far as our finances are concerned. Pretty excited. I feel like it was a strong quarter, so I'm really happy to get to share it with you guys. So let's get into it. If you guys have been following my journey, then you've seen most of these updates already in my weekly transfer Tuesdays and my monthly budget videos. But sometimes it's just nice to look back and see how we did on the quarter overall. So, that being said, I've got my laptop here and I'm going to pull up the screen recording right now. So, here we are in my Google Sheets. You guys know I've been tracking my finances in Google Sheets since 2016, as you can see at the bottom here. So, 2022 looks a little more complicated than it has in previous years, like 2019, 2020. But whatever, we've added some fun features that I'm going to talk about. And now, where's my graph? There it is. Okay, so we'll just start over here, top left. Pink is our income and expense column. Orange, day of the month that my bills come out. And of course, the source is the blue items. The amount is green, etc. Pretty self-explanatory. So what I did add for this year was this fun little bit in the top right. This is my student loan savings tracker. As you can see, I have a yearly goal of $30,000, which you all know about. So the goal is $2,500 a month. So then I'm just tracking the actual savings that I have been able to set aside so far. So January we were bang on. February we were 1,100 short, and March we are 1,300 over, which is fantastic. 7,700 saved so far for the year. We are in a surplus of $200 so far, so that's good, just in case we are short in any months to come. But anyway, so income, that's a big change this year because in every previous year, in fact, it's a big change for April in general. So you guys know I bought my rental property last year, and it has been a long process of course, evicting the shitty tenant who felt compelled to destroy the place and leave a bunch of trash and everything in a shit heap when he left, which was just fun for everyone. And that cost about $12,000 to get that back up and running and rentable, which was my entire emergency fund, which is why it's looking so sad. But anyway, so April is now, we are back in the black, and we should now, I don't, as of yet, have the funds deposited when I'm filming this, but I should very soon, and it should be in the amount of $464.35, which it should be every month going forward, pending any disasters. So that's exciting. And of course, my W-2, which I lovingly refer to as soul death. I just track how much I make from that every month, and that's take-home pay. And then, of course, my expense list, pretty basic, because that's how I like it. That's how I've wanted to live. It's just basic expenses. So I've chiseled my way down. Like, let's just real quick take a peek back at 2016. That's how many monthly bills I had, and it was horrifying because I was only making $32,000 a year. But anyway, I digress. We're never going back to that place, so that's why I like to keep this list nice and short. So, of course, the whole purpose of this channel is tackling these student loan debt. The student loan debt, which I have left, is just federal student loans with Fed loan servicing. And now I did put my rental property mortgage in here, which of course going forward will be offset by the rental income, which, by the way, this rental income of amount up here of $464.35, that is already including the mortgage and including the property management fee. The rent on that is actually $734 a month minus 66 and change for the property management fee, and then they send me what's left, which would be $680, whatever it would be. And then I subtracted out the mortgage of $203.59. So in my pocket goes $464.35, and I'm saving 100% of that. I will be saving 100% of that every single month to save up, of course, for maintenance, vacancy, capital expenditures, and eventually down payment on the next property. So just wanted to put that out there. But again, anyway, expenses are very straightforward. One thing I realize I don't address very often, and luckily no one's called me out on it, but um, I do in fact have car insurance. It's just not on my monthly bills list because I opted to sign up for the company that we have a corporate discount with at work, just because not only was it the best rate I could find, but it also gets deducted automatically from my paycheck, and it's just a monthly bill I don't ever have to think about. And I'm all about automation and making my own life easier, so that's why it's not on my expense spreadsheet, but I do, in fact, have car insurance. So, anyway, like I said, very basic: rent, electricity, gym, internet, Netflix, cell phone. That's it. That's how I like it. Anyway, so I just marked those off as paid as the bills are paid each month. So as you can see, of course, April, everybody got paid. My rent check hasn't come out yet just because it's always slow as shit for some reason. But whatever. And then down here, I have actually added a whole asset section. Woo! Which, did I have that last year? I don't even remember. Yeah, I guess I did. It just looks a little different this year because again, we're starting back from pretty minimal on the emergency fund. My car, vet, and medical fund, you guys know I haven't put anything into that yet. And then a wishful thinking travel fund for someday. But then real estate, so how I calculate that is the value of the house at its last appraisal, which was $43,000, minus the mortgage balance that I owe on it, currently $31,695.43. And that gives me the value of the asset, basically. So it goes up by about $50 a month, which is about how much goes to principal each month of the mortgage payment at this time, which is a-okay with me. It's going in the right direction. That's what matters. And of course, the 401k has gone up. It's been a little volatile. As you guys know, the market's been pretty up and down the last quarter. So, but still, it's up overall. And same with my Roth. That kind of took a hit from January, but these things are expected. It's all good. FundRise, you guys know that goes just up and up and up every single day, which is amazing. I have contributed. I did 200 in January and 100 in March. Yeah, so 300 of this was out of pocket. And just mind you, this was FundRise. That 4,082 was what it was valued at the last day of the month. And I put $200 in January. So I started January with only about $3,800 in there. So it has grown by $500 since January. And I only put in 300 of my own, but I'll show you guys more on that in just a second. But anyway, my crypto, I haven't put anything in, but it's been a bit up and down as it does. And of course, last thing, my student loan savings. And if you guys watched my last Transfer Tuesday video, we're currently sitting at $12,500, which is super exciting. Only 77 of that, 100 of that came from this year, just because we had 4,800 held over from 2021, which is just fine. And then under that, I have my liability column, which, again, the only debt I have is my student loans. I don't count my rental property just because that is paid for by my tenant, basically. So for me, it's already factored into the real estate value. So I don't count that as a liability because that puts cash flow in my pocket every month. That is an asset. And then, of course, the overall net worth is just my total asset, or excuse me, my total liabilities. No. My total assets minus my total liabilities. We are still in the negative, but you know what? We're coming up pretty good. And I just decided to graph that out just because I'm a visual person. So I just have that graph over here, which, as you can see, just quick glance, we are coming up in the right direction, which is all we can ask for, right? It's all we can ask for. And then here, this section I just added just because I wanted to keep track of the deposits that I do make every month, in addition to my student loan savings, of course. I just like keeping track of, oh, hey, I put this much into this account this month, and I don't know. You guys, I'm just obsessed with numbers and my finances, so it's what I do. Anyway, oh, and then obviously down here is just my or 2 months ahead forecast. So this is the current pay period we're in now. I just always list out all the bills that will be coming out that month, and I line them out as they are paid. And I just forecast out the next 3 pay periods to come, just so I always know what's coming. I don't ever want to be blindsided when it comes to my monthly bills. Of course, other expenses come up, and we know that, like up here, car registration in March. In September, I need to have 800-ish set aside for my LLC and business fees. Those things are more like not monthly payments, but monthly payments. I always want to know for sure exactly what's coming at me. So the whole point of this was to basically discuss how we did in the first quarter overall, which is great. Our net worth came up by almost $9,000, which is pretty cool. I feel great about that. Actually, almost spot on $9,000, which is amazing. That's kind of huge for just 3 months. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm proud of myself. I know, and I always feel weird about sharing my income and like how my net worth increases, but I say that because I know I make a good amount of money, and I even hesitate to talk about it at all, but it's like, I also know I'm not alone in this. I know millennials are like the highest percentage of six-figure earners in the country, so I know I'm not alone, so I shouldn't feel weird about it, but really, what I'm most proud of is my savings rate and my I don't know if you want to call it perseverance or stamina or whatever, but just my ability to really make sure that I don't ever get ahead of myself and inflate my lifestyle beyond what I have the means to really logically handle. And until that student loan debt is gone, I'm just looking at myself as I can't handle it no matter what it is. And that's not to say I'm not a cheap person, but I am frugal. Like, I don't just frivolous spending, buy new clothes, this, that, and the other. That is not me. And I hope that one day when I am financially free that I can shift my mindset a little bit, but I'm just so steadfast in not doing that right now. And that's something I'm very proud of, because I know there's not a whole lot I can do to change my incoming money. Just because I'm a union worker and my salaries are negotiated for me. My yearly raises are negotiated for me. I don't have the option to go to my boss and say, hey, X, Y, and Z reasons that I feel like I should have a raise or whatever. I unfortunately don't have that kind of work environment. And so the best thing I can do for myself in my situation is my savings rate. So I've tried to live as cheaply as I can. $1,500 a month for rent, I know isn't terrible, but it's still more than I'm comfortable spending. And in the future, I want to buy a house hack situation. So just something where I can really either reduce or even totally eliminate my housing expenses. But that's hopefully for a later time. But anyway, overall for the quarter, I'm really proud of where we're at. I'm happy with this progress. Overall, that's really it. Actually, before we go too far, I also wanted to share my FundRise account. I wanted to open that up so you guys can see inside exactly how well it did this first quarter, which is amazing. So if I go to performance, so you guys can see I'm currently sitting at $4,300 and change. So my all-time net returns are $773.60, and my net cash in and out, I've put in $3,526.70. But I can zoom in to 2022, which of course is just first quarter so far. And I'll expand these out a little bit, but you can see my net returns in dividends, $16.54, and my appreciation, $105.27. And in that quarter, in 2022 so far, I've only paid $1.10 in advisory fees. So this is definitely why I love FundRise quite a bit. The beginning of the year, I started January with $3,879.58. Like I was saying earlier on the spreadsheet, the value I gave was the end of the month. So it's really come up quite a bit. And it's just one reason why I love FundRise so much, and I talk about it all the time. I always have that linked below if you guys are interested in getting into real estate investing but don't want to own your own physical properties. FundRise is a good crowdfunding alternative. That's really all we have for the quarter update. Not a whole lot of things going on, which is good because we're keeping it simple because our only goals are student loans and increasing our net worth, which we are chug-a-lugging well on our way. I think we're doing great. And that's all we can ask for. So I'm going to shut this off. Nothing big and nothing earth-shattering, but that's kind of how I like it. Finances aren't always flashy like you see on social media. Sometimes they're more boring just because this whole process can be boring because it's usually slow and drawn out. But I always appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much. It would mean a lot if you could give this video a like if you're on your debt journey as well. Subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're curious about my new income stream from that rental property, I talked more about it in my April budget video, which you can check out right here. And I will see you guys in my next one.